My love for fashion. This started when I was 5 years old. I remember my dad used to buy suitcases, or rather, a suitcase of shoes just for me. He would travel abroad and buy them for me. And when they arrived, they became too small. So he would have to send another one. So yes, he bought another suitcase of shoes. And so yeah, at that very young age, you know, anything fashionable, whether it was a hairpiece or putting a flower in my hair. And then I started to think about the clothes and matching my shoes with my outfit. Those were my earliest memories of fashion. Freedom in fashion for me started when I wanted to change. I wanted to experience life in a new way. And I stumbled upon the ASOS Stitching Academy, run with Fashion Enter at the time. And I took a stitching course. This was just for 6 weeks. It was a stitching course. After the course, I mean, this was where I found myself. I found freedom just learning how to stitch. And that was the beginning of freedom for me through fashion. So when I finished the course, it was just a natural progression. I started to come up with ideas. Like I said, this was my very, very first idea, and the idea was born out of the freedom to express myself in different ways. And so I made this jacket with an interchangeable lapel. So I could take it off and, you know, replace it with a different lapel. And for me, that was my own expression. It just meant that I wasn't confined to anything. And when it became obvious that this was what I was passionate about, I didn't want to do anything else. I was just stuck, you know, with designing, and I approached Fashion Enter at the time, and they were willing to help me with my patterns and make my samples for me. And yeah, and it just naturally became a brand. The Karen Gold brand is very classic with an edge. So we're ethnic, we're eclectic, and we're elegant. The biggest challenge for me was finding my fit in the industry because I didn't know anyone. Starting from the ground up alone, having to do the design, the marketing, you know, the business side of it, you know, turning your passion into business was quite tough for me. And so I had to learn new skills because naturally I'm a lawyer. I studied law, so I had to learn, you know, from the beginning about the fashion industry and how to succeed in business. So my friend, I remember Omar Mansour, he was on the course with me, and he told me about the Manchester Fashion Week. That was my very first fashion show. I remember calling them up and they said, oh yeah, you know, you can come. And I went over to Manchester, and that was my very first show, and it was awesome. It was just great. And after that, I did Paris Fashion Week, I did London, I did New York, and it's just been from one fashion show to the other ever since. My most memorable fashion show would be London Fashion Week. I think I remember going to a fashion show once and forgetting a few pieces for the collection. Now that was crazy. We made do with what we had, so it turned out all right in the end. I've learned that you have to be authentic, you have to be yourself, you have to define who you are, and don't get lost in the market. Don't be too fazed with trying to do what everybody else is doing or please anyone. You have to stand out of the crowds and do your own thing and hope that people will buy into that. What excites me about this industry is the creativity. Is the fact that there's so much you can do. 1 minute you're designing maybe based on your life experience or places you've visited or your mood. And it's amazing what can come out of some kind of inspiration. So it's just the fact that the creativity, you know, the fact that you can just do various things. What the future holds? Well, we intend to be a global brand. You know, we've sustainability at the core of what we want to do. We're tying up our logistics, our suppliers, and we're trying to bring back production in-house. And so the future looks great. It's going to be a lifestyle brand, so it's not just clothing. We design for men and women, and we just can't wait for, you know, the possibilities available to us. You can find us on www.karengold.london or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Karen Gold London. My name is Karen Gold, and this is my story to inspire you.